All right, everyone, welcome to a brand new interview. And today I have a very special guest in Magnus, Magnus from Sweden. Tjena. I know a little bit of Swedish, of course, because we have a lot of people from Sweden. I've been to Sweden also a couple of times. And Magnus has joined us, I think a couple of months ago. I think it was in like March
Yeah, it was
of this
March.
year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was March. Yeah.
March, and came from a situation where he really wanted to get his specifically AI focused agency to a level where he's working mainly with like a really interesting niche. I'm not going to spoil too much because Magnus can tell a little bit more about that. But he I saw his journey come in being like, okay, we need to do this. We have a couple of clients, we want to scale it up. Now he's been able to do that. And he's taken the time today to also tell us a little bit more about how he did that, and very much how he's grown his agency to the point where it is right now. So Magnus, first of all, I want to thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And I would say let's make it a valuable call for the people watching. So first things first, maybe you could tell us a little bit more, you know, about who you are, or what do you do, and we can maybe get started from there, see where it
Yeah,
takes us.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, as you mentioned, I'm Magnus, born and raised here in Stockholm. I was working in banking for 4 years, so I was actually a stockbroker at a very good bank. But I thought, I was earning quite well, but that wasn't like I wanted my free time more, to be honest, and it's something I value very much. So I basically said, screw this and quit the job and wanted to do something on my own. So yeah, then I basically started the agency in January, so a couple of months ago. And when we first met, I think we didn't have like a proper structure. It was a little bit messy. Um, we didn't even have we didn't have like a roadmap to go after and basically execute. So once we linked up from the first beginning, I think like our main priority was basically to, yeah, as you mentioned, scale and to get some clients. So yeah, we started scaling like slowly. And because always one thing that I thought, or my philosophy is, it's very important, even if you scale, got to keep the service delivery on point. So that was
Yeah,
also, I wanted to grow like slowly but controlled, and which we have done the last couple of months. So now it's time here after the summer, like a 2.0, to go all in on the ads, and scale this much further than we already did. Yeah.
100%. So tell the people a little bit more about like what inspired you or like got you to us in the first place, because of course, like you see so many people these days like talking about client acquisition, and
Yeah.
then I just came off a call from someone who was telling me like pretty much, these days like you join something and then it's like, okay, just do like standard like cold calling or whatever. But in the time of like AI and that we live in right now, especially with the ads and everything that we are doing, it's a completely different playing field. So
Yeah.
th- tell us a little bit like the starting position when you came to us. So what was that like, and why did you say, hey, Stefan, let's take a look at what we can do with what we're doing with Amnora agency.
Yeah, to be honest, before I even started this agency, I quit my job in May last year, so it's a little bit over a year. So from the first beginning, and before I quit my job, I was already looking at online things to do. So it took maybe like a year for me to start actually earning money on it. And I would say like the main, so I tried, I bought courses for, I don't know, over 10K easily, and nothing worked out the way I wanted to. So when we first met, I was like, I'm more interested of like a guiding, I want more guidance than I just want to watch through modules. Modules is important, but I've already done that part. So of course it's a good compliment, but I was searching more of like a mentorship on of how to attack this and structure. So, and I guess also what made me click on your ad from the first beginning is you seem to have much value, and I liked the way that you were not like a guru, so to
Yeah.
speak. And I also like read some reviews. I spoke with two Swedish guys who are working with as well, and they just had they were very honest. You know, they had very honest ways to speak about you and said like, you know, it's not only, I'm not saying it because he helped me, because he actually turned over my agency. And you know, he's saying we're more like friends than he, you know, I'm buying a service from him. So yeah, that was also one of the reasons that your feedback and your reviews was extremely good. And you seemed, I liked, we jumped on a call with Kaho as well, and it seemed like you worked very closely with with the guys you're working with. So I guess that was one of the things that, you know, working closely. You had the things I was searching for. You was very transparent with, you know, okay, we can do it like this, we can add this. And in the beginning when we met, you know, we didn't have much of a monthly recurring revenue. So you were very like, yeah, open, and just wanted to work it out with us that worked, something that worked for us and also made sense for you.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because it's very important that, you know, I saw the potential in you guys from the beginning, because you were very clear on what you wanted with your agency. You were very clear, like, hey, this is what I want, this is what I wanna where I wanna get to. So talk to us about that beginning stage. Like, how was that looking like in like getting the first few clients, and like how did it go? Like when we like started, like tell the people a little bit more about that.
Yeah, you know, before us, before we started working, it was a little bit messy. We didn't have a proper like sales structure. We were getting a lot of unqualified calls. We did get leads, but they were quite unqualified. And you helped us sort that up, you know, filter out and get the potential and like the real clients we want to talk to on the meetings. I would say and all it still gets easier because we didn't have much, you know, proof that it worked back then, to be honest. So we were just selling outcomes without, you know, even knowing the outcomes. So but yeah, we you helped us set up a great structure. You always gave, you know, good feedback. And then yeah, we onboarded some clients with ads, got them great results, which we could leverage on other calls. So yeah, that was basically it. And yeah, you helped us go from basically zero to yeah where we are today.
Awesome. That's great, man. So tell us about, like, you know, how did that process look? What did we do exactly, like, to go from that starting point to where you guys like started like running it? Because now we're launching the 2.0 version, right? In what you're doing. Talk us about that like 1.0 version. Like, how did that go? Like from those clients that you had to like focusing on that, because you have a very interesting and specific niche in a
Yeah,
sense in
yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah.
Tell the people a bit more about like gradually going towards like getting 5 clients, then 10, then 15, and what you noticed as like the biggest like factor that made the change, or if it's a combination of like multiple things that we did. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I think it's a lot, first of all, in the structure. You know, you made the first, when we first started onboarding clients, we didn't have like a clue. We're like, oh, send content here and give us access here. You helped us sort up like the onboarding process very smooth. It's basically I send them a link, they just fill it in. And that was one thing that just made everything much easier and much more structured once we actually had the clients. You first of all handled our ads and just remade them total. We tweaked the offer. We did a new price point. Uh, it got more structured than it was before, and with those kind of things, and always, you know, making sure, as I mentioned, like the service delivery is on point. I think, you know, those factors combined were the key features to actually, you know, to be able to handle more clients as well. And from that, since you started helping us, now we are able to you know, hire employees that I've been doing before, that was taking a lot of my time that I basically didn't want to do, but now we can actually afford to have someone that does it for us. So yeah, that is amazing. Everything from, you know, the back end structures to actually onboarding client to actually outsourcing, you know. manual things that you can do is outsourced nowadays with employees.
Yeah, 100%. And your angle on like AI, why did you choose to go the direction of like using fully like or like using AI and leveraging AI more? How do you see that market? Like because like a lot of agency owners, I feel like they're still stuck in like these old ways of doing things and all those things. But you went that route and it works really well for you guys. Like why did you go that route? And yeah, tell us a little bit more about that because I think that's also very interesting.
I think, to be honest, I think AI, the time we are living in today, I think AI, if you're gonna look back on it like 10 years from now, I think it's will be sort of like you were on with, do you remember when the internet came? And I think AI is such huge. Of course, the valuation of some companies at the moment are crazy, but and they might go down a little bit, but AI is here to stay, and they would transform our lives now and also like in the future. So I thought either you're someone that's are against it or you're someone that can, okay, I can actually use this to capitalize on it. So, and we all from my previous work as well, I was working a lot of with AI companies and I was just, maybe I can do my own version of this. And that is such amazing with like the online space today that you can actually, make a living and have a very good life with doing AI and doing agencies online and also selling a great service, which I also think is very like important to highlight because as you say there are a lot of like mess out there. So I think it's important to actually show people that you can deliver a great service even though you're just online.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So, um, the niche, just one step back on the niche. Why did you decide to go in that direction?
To be honest, it was quite of we were doing ads like quite broad. Then we had this guy that just basically jumped on a meeting with us, and he said, I like this. Can we tailor it more like to my niche and what we are doing? And I said, yeah, yeah, sure. And then he basically, so we did just 1 month contract, like starting contract trial period. And then after 1 month, he just basically, can we jump on a meeting again? And I was afraid he was going to leave or didn't like it. So, and he said, like, basically the other thing, he said, I really like this. I do see a lot of potential. He is the Europe manager over this brand. So it's a very big franchise that has, and so he said, I just want to implement this on not like every place that we have or every studio, but as much studios that can afford it. So basically, we remade everything after how these niche are working and what's efficient and great for them. So that's how it started. And that's basically how we like niche down. And then I started to realize, that it's because I have nothing to do with this niche or like the before. So I was quite new to like the environment or and the people, and I just realized, okay, it's a huge potential here, and there's thousands of thousands that actually can benefit from our service and our help. So that's how we got into it from the beginning, and now like fast forward, we are a couple of months in and it working well. Of course there will always be ups and downs, but overall it's working very well.
Nice. That sounds great. So it definitely shows like that even in like a niche that you don't know nothing about,
Mm.
scalability is possible. So tell us a little bit more like, what point are you guys in right now? The 2.0, how is that looking? How did you guys evolve from that point where you are right now? How much are you ballpark like doing? Like how many clients have you evolved to? Because you did it in quite a you know like quick time frame if you think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
It went pretty quickly and now you're signing clients, you got the leverage in a sense. And we leverage AI with it mostly. So what point are you standing on right now, and maybe you can also tell us about like your goals for like the next 6 months with the 2.0 version.
Yeah, so I think at the moment we have 14 clients. We are onboarding one this week, and so we actually signed two clients that like contract is signed.
I see.
but one is starting this week and one starting the first week of September. But we say, for example, I think we are growing with between like 2 to 4 clients every month now, which is in my sense, a pretty stable, pace. And we can always make sure the delivery is on point and those things. So yeah, basically the 2.0 is, we want to scale this to above, I would say 60K per month in monthly recurring revenue. I do definitely think that is possible. I think it's just a matter of, standing out in the mess, having a great offer, um, and I think, to be honest, it's the most important part isn't to, everyone is talking about, oh, which niche should I go with? Or how should I do it? I think if you find something that works, you don't need to overcomplicate it. What we do is it's just it's just making the life easier for these owners. So I think as long as you find something, whatever it is niche it in is, it's, if you do a great job and have a great product, it doesn't need to be much more complicated or a great service. So
Yeah,
I think it's a matter of just starting, to be honest, and you will figure it out along the way. So now, yeah, now the 2.0 is we want to scale this to 60K per month. Uh, so if we just keep going in this pace and also put in some more on ads, so now we are, but that is also one thing. In the beginning, it could be hard to, create content if you're not comfortable sitting behind the camera, all those kinds of things. But as you grew, you can also outsource this part. So now we actually have two guys that are working with like content creation that will help us with content and like edit them. And then we have you guys to have as a ballpark when it comes to like the overall business. So I think, for me, it doesn't need to happen overnight. As long as we're on the right path and, we have a goal and everyone is dedicated, I think, it's great. So yeah, I think it's a lot about just starting. The most important thing isn't basically what you sell, as long as you sell something that works, and he's
100%.
making it easier for these people you sell to. So you find a problem and you sell the outcome of it. And then along the way you get help, and you also gotta be, is of course, dedicated and wanna do this for real. But as long as you have these, components, you have a great like ballpark or coach or whatever you want to call it, you have a good service, and I have decided that this is going to work. So I think that is the most crucial part that you just need to understand. And if you're picking like AI, or you're picking, I don't know, contractors or like home development, I think that isn't just the biggest. Of course, there might be you want to have a high margin and those kind of things, but that's also a great thing with like, I like to call it a SWAS, a software with a service.
Yeah,
Uh, I think, that is the most like important part, and then that you're just, yeah, you want to do this for real, and I think it will turn out. A lot of things is also about just not quitting.
exactly.
As long as
That's
you
the
keep
most important.
going, there will be ups and downs, but as long as you're on the right path,
Yeah.
it's in my opinion and how I feel about it.
It might take longer than you might have expected because you
Um,
might set an expectation, but even if it takes longer, you'll still get there if you just keep the consistency. If you just don't
Yeah,
quit. And that's where I see a lot of people also fail because they just quit. They're like, okay, I just stop. And
yeah.
I'm like, why did you stop? Like, just continue. You'll the goal is there. You just got to push through a little bit. So, what surprised you, Magnus, about like the collaboration with us? What was one thing that you would say, or maybe a couple, that surprised you that you maybe didn't expect?
Uh, what I like was like hands down here how first of all, you're very like transparent. You were working, especially in the beginning when we basically didn't have much like money to spend. You were working with us in a way I haven't seen. And as I mentioned, I bought, previous courses, etc., etc. But this didn't match it, and you were just hands-on, very like you were talking to me. Okay, how should we do this? How do we attack this? You were working with us with the budget. You were making like a roadmap with us. So I would say like your um, how yeah, how you spoke with how fast you were with replying, and if you didn't, Kaho replied, your knowledge about just everything in the space. And yeah, your presence, to be honest, you seem like a very chill guy, and that's what I meant. It just feels like you're not a guru trying to sell like an outcome, you know.
Exactly.
It feels like more you're a bud, you know, as in speaking with, and you're just giving me tips and direct me in the right ways.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool, man. And so regarding like the pretty much like experience with like maybe other companies doing similar things what we do. You
Mhm.
mentioned the word guru a lot of times. I hear that term also a lot. We try to stay away from that.
Yeah, I
But
get it.
what has been your experience with like other companies similar to what we do at For Success, and how do you think it compares with, you know, to them?
I think the biggest like difference is, you know, I was buying these courses before. You just got a course, you didn't get no Slack group or Discord group or whatever. You just bought a course. You could write like in a general chat. I didn't get, you know, much replies. It was just a mess. So I would say like the biggest difference, your communication in your head. You know, we have a private group to each other that way we can just send messages. You can ask me things. I ask you things all the time. So I would say those things, and that you actually, you know, it doesn't take to you. If I send you a message today, you will reply today. So that is also one thing that I noticed. Like, you know, it could take 2 days before I even got a reply. And then I got some assistant that basically didn't know what they were applying to, or just didn't know the answer fully. Here is always you, or like Kaho. Um, it's always like bam, 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 do this, and then you reach back after 2 days. Like, did it work? You know, everything working smoothly. So I would say like your to be honest, your presence and your how it felt and it feels like, you know, you actually want us to succeed as well. A lot of, or from my previous experience working with other like similar things to this, it was no, they just wanted the money and then was like, okay, yeah, yeah, you know, fine. And it feels like you are invested in our agency. You know what we do, you know what we need, and that's what I also meant with like your knowledge about everything. So that was have been very helpful. Just that I guess it also depends a little bit on how you are as a person. But for me, I just want someone to have like a ballpark and someone to direct me in the right way, because it is messy out there. And you know, as you're saying, with all these people showing up on it, you don't know where to click, where to start.
Yeah.
So that has been incredibly helpful for us, and that's why we are at the point we are today.
Awesome. That's amazing. So last final questions, since we've been going on for almost like a half an hour. So how do you see like pretty much like the market evolving? Because AI is getting like bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
What is kind of like your insight? I think that would be very valuable for people, especially with your, agency that you've grown to this point.
Yeah.
How do you see the market evolving with AI for agencies in the like 6 to 12 months?
I think, you know, you can leverage it like crazy, to be honest. So to be honest, when we started, it wasn't much of AI from the first day, but we are implementing like small things that we do with AI, and also implementing it for the clients. Everything from like chatbots till you can create different things with the help of AI. So I think yeah, you know, you need to be interested. You need to understand that AI is, you know, happening, and I also think you can leverage like crazy on it as long as you're just willing to try things, you know. And you don't need to do everything with AI, but you can just make a lot of things easier with AI, and also like help your clients, and also outsource your work with AI. So from building things that you can just don't need to code today, you can just write with a chat and they can build things for you.
Yeah.
So I think it would just continue, to be honest, and maybe just increasing more. You can, if you look at like the big five, and in the States, you know, the biggest companies, Nvidia and all those, they're spending like crazy. Their biggest investments is in AI, and we can see that on, you know, Meta's AI and how good it is today, just compared to a couple of years ago. So I think it would just be more and more. And I think if you are smart, you can just capitalize on it, and you can just use it for different things. You don't need to have the whole business standing around AI. You can just implement it and leverage it in smart things, in smart ways.
100%. I fully agree. It's a gold rush. I always say it's a gold rush right now to be in. Um, Okay, so one final question. So, like, would you advise others who are not your competitors, of course, to do business with us at For Success? What would you say to someone that is looking at this and maybe thinking, oh, Stefan is not like maybe sounding like a guru, but I'm still skeptical. I still don't know if he will give me that what I've experienced like before, and I've maybe been burned before. Like, what would you say to that someone watching this right now, if they're thinking like something like that?
I was them, to be honest. I was them,
Yeah.
and I saw this like client, success interview, and I was like, and I was wondering, is it me it's wrong on? Because I never got that success, and I was like, and I was trying different things. So I was, if you're like on the fence of doing it, just do it. And to be honest, the sooner you do it, the better. So. Definitely do it. I highly recommend Stefan and all of his guys. It's a great guy, and also they have great knowledge, and they have done this. What I think, or what I see it like as a pattern, is that a lot of people just they do like 10, 15K a couple of months, and then they start selling a course around it, or they did like they have made some money on it, but what I liked about you is that you actually you have been in this space for a long time. You have done different businesses in the online world space, and now you leverage your knowledge to helping others. So I would say if you're on the fence of doing it or not doing it is worth it as long as you are committed, and if you have decided like I'm gonna work with this full time, this is going to be my job. The sky is the limit, to be honest, and there's always things to do. You are your own limit, basically. And as you grew as well, it will also be easier because you can you can spend more, you can hire people. In the beginning you need to do those things by yourself, which is good from the beginning, but that is one of the things that I think, helped us a lot, that now we can actually afford to have a media buyer and those kind of things. So it is tough, but it's not that tough, to be honest. And if you just decide if you want to do something and you have a commitment against yourself, there's nothing that's holding you back. And if you are seeking for like a mentorship or coaching, I highly recommend Stefan and Kaho and his team. They're great guys. They have great knowledge. They direct us still today. In where should we go and make roadmaps on us. If you want to jump on a call, it jumps on a call. All those kinds of things that is very necessary to actually make a business succeed in this space. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate that, Magnus. Is there anything last from your side that you want to give the people watching this? Just maybe something that comes to mind or anything that you want to leave them with from your side or,
Yeah.
any value.
Basically, I was there, and I've been searching. I've been trying different things. I did like branded drop shipping. Did partnership with like real companies to become like authorized seller. I done not everything, but I done like 4 or 5 things. It took me like a year, as I mentioned, but it's about consistency, as you say.
Yeah.
And as long as you have decided that this is something I'm gonna do, um, there's nothing stopping you. And if you want someone to help along the way, I highly recommend go with Stefan.
Awesome. I really appreciate that, man. And Magnus, thank you so much for taking the time again. As I said, really appreciate it. I hope this was also valuable for you guys watching. Maybe we'll do an interview when we hit that 60K mark. Let's make that the goal and let's go all for it with the 2.0 version. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Magnus, once again for being here. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Words.